In the last session, we covered the topic functions, right? Now, I specifically told you that when we talk about functions, okay, so functions are basically are of two types. There are inbuilt functions, okay, and then there are user-defined functions. User-defined functions. Now, if you remember class, user-defined functions can be defined using two ways. One is def, second is lambda. Right? I told you all these two. Okay. Now def we have already covered. Lambda we will cover now. Let's say, suppose I'm giving you an example. Suppose I'm creating a function, let's say simple func. Okay. This func variable, maybe let's say take two arguments, okay, two parameters, okay, and it will add them together, x plus y, and then it will return the value c. Okay, this is how this function looks like. Now, suppose, and see, and we will call this function like this 3, 7. If I run this code, I will get the output 10. Okay, we can store it in some variable also, x equal to 3, 7, x equal to 3, okay, and then if I write here p, so it will give me 10. Now, here notice one thing, guys. In this case, now the function that we have mentioned, this function can also be written in a single line, right? C equal to x plus y. Now, whenever you want to implement some functionality and you know that that particular functionality can be written in a single line, so in that case, you can use a lambda function. Okay, in that case, you can create the same function using lambda format. Okay, let me write it down. Okay. What happens in case of a lambda function? Okay, can be used if the function definition can be written in a single line. Okay, maybe you can use shorter notation, okay, of if else, or maybe you can use list comprehension, okay, or dictionary comprehension. Okay, so in all these cases, if you're able to write a particular code in a single line, then you can use lambda function. Okay, second thing, lambda function they can be anonymous. Lambda function is also called as anonymous function. Okay, it is also called anonymous function. That is, in essence, function without a name. I will cover this little bit later today. Okay. Next is anonymous means there is no name. Okay. Then third thing is lambda. The third benefit is lambda function is comparatively faster than def functions. Now let us see class. This same now I will explain using lambda function. How? Let me write the syntax first. What happens? We write a function name followed by equal to, then we write lambda followed by arguments, whatever arguments are there, argument 1, argument 2, okay, and so on. Then followed by a colon, okay, then followed by, suppose let's say I want to do some task, okay, so single line task, single line task, okay, that's it. That is your lambda function. Let me show you how this same code will write using lambda function. How? Plus here the function name is func, na? So I will write here func, then equal to, then lambda then parameters x comma y, then followed by a colon, and whatever I want to do with the parameters x plus y. Now, what happens in case of lambda function now? No need to mention return. The output of the task is automatically returned always. Parava, you can say it is like in line function. Okay. You can say in line function there is one thing. You can say it is like infinite. Yes. Okay. How to write multiple conditions in it? No, don't. You cannot write multiple conditions. There is what do you mean by condition? No, it cannot be multiple line. It is single line. I have written, right? It can be written. The definition and itself I have written, it can be in a single line only. Okay. So if I run this code, as you can see, I am getting the same output. Getting this class, everyone or not? Is everyone getting this particular code? Okay, here class, there is no need to mention the return value. Why? Because whatever is the output of x plus y will get automatically returned. There is no point of returning. So function call is always same in lambda also, but function definition will differ. In def, we are writing like this in function definition. In lambda, we use like this. In run, we have just started, but this fix for bigger problem where it has multiple conditions. If see Priyank, what happens if there is bigger problem and if you can write the entire bigger problem in a single line, then you can do it. For example, suppose I ask you to write a function which returns a list of uh, squares of integers in a given in a range. Okay, so suppose let's say I'm taking the range as m is equal to int input start and equal to int input and okay, this we have done. Okay, then what we can do class, we can create a function. I'm creating the function, this square I'm taking as a function name. Okay, let me show this using def first. So using def, how you will do this? We'll write here class def square. Okay, and then we'll create a function name. Suppose let's say you're taking the you will need m and n obviously. Okay, and then you will do what? Here we will create an empty list, and then for I in range of m to n plus 1, okay, l dot append I ka square, and after the loop ends you will return the entire list. Okay, you will return the entire list. So you'll call this function square here. Okay, and you will store the list inside a variable k square, and you will give m and n here. Okay, and print k. If I run this code, I enter 8 to 15. So all of you got this code, right, class? I hope all of you got this code, right, class? Okay. Now this is not a big program per se, but this is the 4-line code. But I know that we can create the same in a single line. Can anyone tell me how? We can convert this code to a single line. How? List comprehension, right? So what we can do here is I can write here lambda. Let's take square only. Square is equal to lambda. Okay, m and n are the parameters followed by colon, and directly I will create the list comprehension. How? I power 2 for I in range of m to n plus 1. That's it. There is no need of writing this 5 line code. Okay, square. See, 8, 20. Got the output. Got this, class, everyone? So you just while using lambda, you just have to see one thing, whether you're able to write that piece of code in a single line or not. If you're able to, then you can use lambda, otherwise not. Clear till here, everyone? Clear about lambda, everyone, or not? Okay. Now let me show you one thing. This is a list comprehension, Sushant. So list comprehension will give the output in a list format. देखो अगर मैं इसको simply भी लेता हूँ, take this simply, then also see the output is in list format, no? Okay. Now class, let's continue. Let's proceed. There is one thing that I have mentioned here. It is also called anonymous function, that is a function without a name. Let's understand that. Now suppose class, let's say I have a variable x is equal to 90. So I can write a print x, right? So it will give me 90. This code can also be written as print 90 directly also. Yes or no, class? Yes or no? So can anyone tell me what is the benefit of creating the x variable in the first place? What is the benefit of creating x variable over this directly writing 90? What is the benefit of writing x plus? Right. Reusability, we can use this x variable multiple times. But if you're writing 90 directly, then in that case, we cannot use it multiple times. Now, suppose, let's say you want to implement a particular functionality, okay, but you know that you want that particular functionality will be implemented one time only. Okay, now let me show you this code only. Okay, this directly. Plus, you know that that particular functionality will be implemented one time only. So there is no need to create a variable. So can we say that this square is actually kind of a variable here? Written in the similar manner like we write variables, x equal to 90, square is equal to like that, right? So now what you can do, instead of creating the square function, don't do it. Don't create the square function. Instead of that, directly write this entire function definition. I will directly write here. See. So this is the function definition. This part is the function definition class that I have highlighted, followed by m and n, that are the parameters. So now if I run this code, you can see 8, 15, we got the output without any problem. There is no square function. We are not using the square function here. So here class, since I am not using the function name at all, okay, so in that case, that is why this is called as lambda functions as anonymous function without a name. Got this, class, everyone? Okay, here what we are doing in this case? There is a function definition. There is a function call, right? Two things are there. But here, in this case, if you actually see class, function definition and function call are in the same line. Got this class, everyone? Function definition and function call are in the same line. यहीं पर हमने define भी करा. Here only we define the function, and here only we called it. Okay, let me show you one thing. You will understand, Rishabh. Okay. Suppose, let's say we are using this function. So I've created this function. So if I am calling this function like this class, square 8, 15. So I will get this. If I simply write square, okay, so here you can see that is a function name. When you use a parenthesis after a function, then it becomes a function call. Are you getting this class, everyone? This is just a function name that you are calling, that you are using here for whatever purpose you want to. And this is actually a function call when you put the parenthesis after the function name. Okay, let me show you. Suppose let's say there is a function len. Suppose if I write here len of k, it will give me 8. K we created here. K we created here. So len of k will give us this. But if I simply write here len, it will give me function len like this. Clear class, everyone? All of you got this? All of you got this class here? Okay. Now one more thing that you can do here. Let me show you. Suppose let's say print function is there. You're saying print hello. Now, suppose let's say there is a variable y equal to 56. So you can write here x equal to y also, no? And wherever you want to use y, you can use x also there. Wherever you want to use y, you can use x also, no? Right? Prabha? Done? Okay. Now here, plus I will again explain, don't worry. Wherever you want to use y, you can use x also, because x will also hold the same data. Okay. So similarly, what you can do in case of print hello also. So since it is already defined, so you can write here print, sorry, p is equal to print and run the code. Now if you write p hello, see, that will also work in the same way. Got this class, everyone? All of you got this? So print is known by p now in the code, in this code only. So wherever you will use p, it will actually call the print function only. Okay, now tell me class, what all dots are there so far that I have covered? Here in this case, earlier I had written this was k is equal to square m comma n. Okay, and I had written square is equal to square is equal to this. So what I did, I come, okay, basically instead of square ना, यहाँ पे देखो m and n तो ये देखो, wait, see this class, notice one thing, this part I am keeping here at this location, see, तो ये जो m and n है, this m and n that is present is still there, this part is still there, okay, but this part I am keeping here, got this, in place of square I have replaced it. Getting this class or not, Jagdish? No, Suzar, you cannot do that. No. For inbuilt functions, you cannot do that. No. Because you cannot change the source code, no? Jagdish, this is power operator. It is calculating the square, no? See? 8 ka square 64, 9 ka square 81, 10 ka square 100. Power, star 2 means power 2, square. Clear class everyone so far? Those are parameters. Those are parameters. Just like you're writing here m comma n. Okay, these m and n are basically taking the start and end value, na? Okay. So Sasi, there are two reasons why we use lambda. First to save space. Okay. First to shorten the code basically. First to save the space. First reason. Second reason is to make the code run faster. Okay. Jagdish here m and n I am writing here also. No, so square की जगह see what I have done here. ये lambda है पूरा का पूरा. This is actually equal to what square ना? So here I had written square k equal to square. तो मैंने square की जगह पे इस पूरे को लिख दिया. So same thing is happening here, no? This entire thing is written in place of square. और आगे m and m comma n that is basically your call function call. I am passing the parameter arguments there. Got it now? P equal to print with I just renamed. I have renamed the print to P. Up now you can use print hello also. Okay, and you can use P hello also. Because when we write P equal to print like this, no, that means both of them now essentially mean the same thing. For Python, P and print mean the same thing from now onwards in this code. Got this? For this code only, though both of them are same thing. Clear, Shashank? All of you understood Lambda class now? No, no, Harish, no. Def cannot work like that, no. Lambda m comma n was a formula of square. Formula of square is this one, na? I power 2. This is a formula of square. Can we make pyramid of numbers using lambda? Using lambda, no. No, you cannot do it. Certainly. Because pyramid of numbers, that code, I guess cannot be written using You cannot write that code in a single line. See, simply understand, if you're able to write a particular code in a single line, then you can use Lambda, otherwise no. Clear class so far? Clear class so far? Can we find how we need to follow this? Can we find vowels from string? Can we find vowels from string using Lambda or count words using Lambda? If you're creating a list, then you can do that. Yes. Yes, you can do that, Kalgaonkar. Okay, first try writing the code in a single line, then you can do that. Okay. So class, that is all about your functions. Yesterday we covered types of arguments, if you remember. So all 4 types of arguments that we covered can be used in Lambda also. In similar manner, they will work. Okay. Now next thing class that we have to work on is your map function. Okay. Map function class is basically used, understand? Okay, map function is used to map to apply a particular functionality on a particular collection. So map is basically an inbuilt function. Let's understand how it works. Syntax of map. We write map, then followed by a function name, function that we want to implement, comma, and then followed by a collection sequence. Okay. Now let us see class. Suppose you have a list with you. Okay, in that list you have written 9, 63, 45, 100, 10. Let's say this data is there. Now what you want to do, you want to convert all of this data into integer format. So normally what you will do class, you will create a variable k. You will write here for I in L, k dot append int of I. This is what you would do. This is what you will do class. I hope all of you got this code right. All of you got this code or not? You're taking the element one by one from the L list. Okay, typecasting that into integer and then putting that inside the k list. Okay, either you can do this, or you can do one more thing. Instead of creating another variable, look right here, for I in range of length of L, you will take the index one by one, L of I, and you will modify it to integer. You will take the index, take the data, typecast into integer, and put it in the same place in the list. See class, all of you got this code as well? Okay, you're taking the data one by one, typecast into integer, and changing in the same list. So what will happen? First, you will take 9, convert into integer, and replace that with 9 only. Okay, then you will take 63, convert into integer, and replace it with 63, and so on. Now, class, here notice one thing. Okay, what I'm can I say? Can I say in this case that we are applying the int function we are applying the int function on each and every element of the list. Can we say this? That we are applying the int function on each and every element of the list. Can we say this, class? Or in other words, can we say that I am mapping the int function on each and every element of the list? Same thing, right? Okay. So whenever this kind of case arises that you want to do a particular functionality, it can be anything, but you want to implement a particular single functionality on each and every element of a particular list, a particular sequence, not necessarily list, it can be any sequence. So in that case, what we can do, we can use a map. How? Write list of map. Just like in range function, now we mentioned list in starting. Here also in map, we have to do that. Okay. So k is equal to, suppose I already have this list. So if you want, you can create another list also, or you can do it in the same list. You can write L equal to, or you can write K equal to. Now we want to implement the integer functionality. So here, see class, we just need to mention the function name. We don't need to call the function. We just need to mention the function name int. That's it. Followed by a comma. And then what we will do, class? L. Right? See, we're getting the same output. All of you got this code, class? The same thing that was happening in a 2-line code or a 3-line code, okay, now is happening in a single line. Here we had to implement 3-line code, no? Same thing in a single line. Why we wrote list here? See, if you don't write list, now you will get output like this. Map at this, so you get the address. So in order to see it in a readable format on the screen, we typecast that into some readable format, such as list or tuple or set. Got this, class? If you want to tuple in the output, write tuple. Any kind of function can be applied. Got this, class, so far, everyone? Okay. Now, suppose let's say, class, I have this list with me. Okay. I have this list with me, k is equal to this list. So what I want to do, write a program to create a list of squares of elements of a given list. Okay. There is a map is used for, map is just for applying the function on each and every element and getting a list in the output. Okay. Write a program to create a list of squares of elements of a given list. Here we are given a list, okay, and you have to convert each of them into squares. So normally what you will do, class? We will create a empty list for I in k, okay, and m dot append I ka square, just like we did earlier. Okay. And then you will print m. This is what you will do. Now, what we'll do, class, now? We'll create a function square lambda. Now this function will do what? Class, understand. This function will take, let me show this using def first, so you will understand better. Def square. Okay. This will take a function I, a parameter I, and it will return what? I ka square. So now, if I want to implement this using map, so right here, m is equal to list of map. Okay, now Which function we want to implement? Square function. We want to implement the square function on every element of the list. Square comma और कौन सी लिस्ट पर? K लिस्ट पर. Okay. All of you got the output class or not? All of you got this or not? We are applying the square function on each and every element. हर एक element पे on each and every element I am applying that one by one. Now same thing class you can do using lambda also. Lambda I asterisk simple straightforward same output. Because it will return the square also, no? If you don't return it, so how will you get in the get the data in the global scope? No. So what this map function is doing, map function is calling the square function in the backend. Okay, and it is applying for each and every element, it is applying the square function. No, not necessarily 60. Suppose you have a string with you, string input. Some string you're getting. Okay. Now you want to repeat it. You want to create a list or a tuple in which you want to repeat the element of the string. Okay. Twice. Suppose let's say what I'm saying, you are getting hello. So you want in the output is what you want in the output? HH EE LL LL OO. Okay. So what you can do? You can create lambda I into 2. Repetition operator, if you remember class, it will repeat twice. If it is a string, then it will repeat. Okay. Suppose you want a tuple or a list, depends on the tuple map do comma s. Suppose I enter enter. See, got this class everyone? Any kind of collection sequence will work. Clear class so far? You can put it inside a loop, no problem at all. Lambda inside a loop. No, there is no point. You can put it, but there is no point. Now, lambda inside a loop means you're defining the function definition again and again. So what is the point of doing that? Lambda basically is used to define the function, na? So what is the point of defining the function definition again and again? Getting this point? You want to print I into 2 for 5 times. Can you tell me the output, Devasis? What you want in the output? I'm not getting the question. If you can tell me the output. I into 5 तो obviously you can do. Can you perform split function in map? No, inside map you cannot. But yes, what let me explain this thing also. Suppose class, let's say, uh, see, someone asked me in the starting कि how to basically your क्या बोलते हैं, how to take list input from the user, right? List input from the user. Now that list input you cannot do in every scenario. List input you cannot do in every scenario. Okay, suppose in some specific scenario when you know that whatever data input you want, okay, you want that all of that in a integer format, let's say. Okay, suppose instead of writing 5 separate lines of code to take subject of 5 subject to take input of 5 subjects, okay, marks input of 5 subjects, what you can do, you can write here L is equal to normally you will write input, okay, and then do one enter comma separated marks. Okay, you'll get the marks as input. Okay, then what you can do is you have to store them in a list. Okay, so they will present in string format normally because input is here. So based on comma, you will apply the split function. Based on comma, apply the split function. I hope all of you are able. Class, focus here first. Focus on the last example that I'm giving you because you will get confused otherwise. Are you able to visualize the code? Visualize the output step by step? Okay, if you want, I can do it in a stepwise manner. Okay, ms is equal to marks dot split. Okay, so I will get a list class after applying the split method. I will get a list right in the output, and that list will have multiple strings. Okay, multiple strings, multiple marks present inside string. Okay, then now what you can do, you can write here msi is equal to list of map. We'll apply int function on each of them, int and then comma followed by क्या 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 आएगा यहाँ पर ms. So msi. So now you are asking now how to take list input. Suppose I scored 88, 91, 95, 95, 80. Got this class now, everyone? Can we see that we have taken a list input now? We are not essentially taking a list input if you actually see. The input is not presented in list format, but yes, this code that we have written, this code will give us a list input. Got this class, everyone? This entire code, you can write this in a single line also, I guess. Let us try. Dot split. And here, marks will come. And instead of writing this here, input, remove input from here and then directly write here in place of marks. Got this class, everyone? This code I've written in a single line now. It looks complicated. That is why I've written it separately earlier. If you see. So we have first taken a comma separated input from the user. Okay, then we have split it based on comma. See, if you actually see, let me do it step by step manner. Print marks. Print ms. See, so first I gave this as input. Okay, so this was the marks. Okay, then we got, after splitting we got this. Now here you can see this is like all of them are present in string format. So I applied the int functionality. I mapped the int functionality on each one of them. So you got this in the output then. Got this, Sonu? What are do and s in tuple? ये do तो ये function का नाम है, शशि. Do is the name of this function. Okay, and s is the string input that I'm taking from the user, such as s is here hello. In real projects, what usually is preferred, step by step or step single line program? Ranjit, it is totally up to you. Okay, if you go to the industry now, so you will see that majority of the developers, okay, will be using this code, this one, this code they will be using. Why? Because they already have some experience. Okay, so this code is easy for them, not complicated. They can directly understand, okay, what exactly is happening in this code. Okay, but again, see, it is not what like it is not like it is what is preferred. Okay, the code should be, the other person should be able to understand the code easily. Okay, plus you yourself should be able to understand your code. Okay, when, because what happens is that the code, it is not like you will be doing like you will be creating the entire project in a single day. No, it will take approximately a month or 5 months or 1 year or sometimes 5 years also to work on a project end to end. Okay, in data analysis or data science, the projects are usually, I would say, 1 month long approximately. Data analysis may be 1 month long approximately. Data science may can go to around 6 months also. Okay, or maybe more depending on the how big or how complex the project is. Okay, so in that case, what happens? So whatever code you have written today, suppose let's say you have written 500 lines of code today, and that is completely normal. In a single day, you will be writing. See, it is an 8-hour job, no? So in 8 hours plus count some experience also. So you will be writing approximately 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 lines of code in a single day. So it will be very, very difficult for you to remember your own code next day. Okay. So what the whole idea is that whenever you're writing the code, you have to make sure that you yourself plus others in your team should be able to understand your code. Okay, as like easily. That is the entire idea. Okay, that should not be complex for them to understand. So that is why comments is there. Okay, so we basically, like, we write a documented code. Documented code means we use comments. Okay, in a 500 line, in a 500 line code, okay, usually 400, approximately 300 or 400 lines will be commented. Okay, so we write comment on each and every line. Okay, depending obviously on the complexity also. Okay, so if I'm writing this kind of code, so here I will write a comment what this particular line is doing. Okay, so that it will become easier for me also na, later on to understand that what I have written, because I will forget, and that is completely normal कि 4 दिन के अंदर ही भूल गया. It happens na, you will write a code on Friday. Okay, Saturday Sunday will be off. When you come back on Monday, your own code will feel strange to you कि ये code मैंने लिखा है. It will be like that this code is written by me or not. Okay, why it is stored in string format? It is stored in string format because we are taking input na Jagdish. In Python, input is always stored in string format by default. No matter what you will give in the input, no matter what, it will always store in string format. It will always store it in string format. Because Harish, that is how it works. Okay, split function will always give you a list output that is defined in the backend of the split method. You cannot change that. You can typecast the list into some other format if you want to, but by default, it will always go for list. Why we reduce the lines of code into one line of code and increasing the complexity and easy? Devashish, no. You think that this is complex code. No, this is not complex. Understand. this thing class कि you are writing कितना ये 3 लाइन कोड है ये one splitting the code, splitting it and taking the input. Okay, just to take a list input from the user, you're writing a 3-line code. Okay, for you it feels complex. Okay, but from industry perspective, no, it is not complex. I'm just showing you how we write in the industry. Okay, it is totally up to you. It is not. Nobody is forcing you to do that, and you are not increasing the complexity. It is looking complex to you because we are using map. You are learning map function for the very first time today. Getting this class. Okay, whatever codes I wrote in the first session, okay, in your first session, they feel easier nowadays, right? Why? Because you have been seeing, you're not habitual with that code over time. So same thing will happen with this also over time. Okay, this will become easier to you. Got that? In list find function doesn't work because it doesn't have any find function. Then how to search element in a list? Devashish use the index function. I covered this in the class. Index function. There's an index method which can work on string, list, tuple, all three of them. Find only works in case of string. Okay, then this is a way to typecast of string to list. How you can say that, Harish? Okay, it depends. You are able to do this because the data was present in integer format only, all of them. We know that. 88, 91, 95, all these things were there. But suppose if the user accidentally enters, the problem with this code is what? Okay, in this code, suppose the user says 34, 23, 89, high. So this will throw error because we're trying to map this into integer format, and that will not work. So you can see it is throwing error. Code under stability or code readability will be more. Code under, what do you mean by under stability? Or code readability will be more complex. Index function is used to get the index value. Can we get the value of the index? How to use? ये use करो ना. Suppose you have a list with you, okay, and you write here l dot index 45. It will give you the index 2. If you write L2, so it will get 45. Clear class everyone so far? Any other doubt? Ah, yes, Devanshu, that is there. How to handle it? I will cover a topic later on called as exception handling. Okay, or simply you can do one thing. If suppose let's say the element that you're trying to find is stored in E variable. So if simply write if E in L, then only apply this function L dot index E. Got it? Else print E not present. So if I'm giving 45, yeah, okay, so it is giving us 2. Suppose if I give here 4 only, so 4 not present because 4 is not there in the list. Got this, Devashish? You have to write the code class. Each and everything cannot be present in built. Na? There are some specific inbuilt functionalities present in Python. That is why it feels easy. But in other languages such as C, there are no functions like this. Index function is not there. Your find function, append function, all these functions are not there. So you have to write everything from scratch in those cases. Dictionary comparison, Dishank, it basically works the select list. Okay, any function, any ng function I will cover. Yes. The dictionary comparison, so as far as I remember, let me check once. Suppose we have a list with you. So suppose class, let's say you have to create a dictionary. Create a dictionary of squares of n natural numbers. Ah, yes. Dictionary will have unique element only, yes. So suppose normally what you will do, you create an empty dictionary and then for I in range, assume the range I'm taking is 6 for now. Okay, 5 basically. Okay, n equal to 5. Okay, so then you write d dot update and then pass a dictionary and you will write here I colon I का square. So d will become this, right? So now this code can be written using dictionary comparison as let me just check once, and I don't remember which dictionary comparison precisely. And then for I in range of 2, 6. See, got this, Shashank? How do we take list as an input? You cannot take list as input, Rohit. That is what I said, na? Yeah, that is what I was covering just now here. You cannot take a list directly as an input. The input, whenever you will take, that will be present in string format only. Then you can write your own code to create a list out of it. This is suppose here I took string input. Okay, and then write this entire code to convert that into a list. See, only keys will be unique, values can be duplicated. Yes, dictionary will have unique element only. Devashish, keys of the dictionary are unique. Values may or may not. Without mentioning update method, how got updated. That is what happens. That is what your this is called as dictionary comprehension. Na? Same thing happens in case of list also. Without using the append, it will update. यहाँ पे देखो, here we use that list comprehension. Where was that? This. Am I using append function here? No, no. It is still working fine. So it is same thing. Can't we use for loop and then manually add it in a list? Yes, you can do that, right? Yes. Okay, if strings are immutable and it is a collection, then can we append value to a string collection? No, Devashish, no. You can do concatenation in a string. So suppose s1 is equal to hello is there. Okay, and you want to suppose s2 is there. I is there, and you want to put s2 in s1. So that s1 is equal to s1 plus s2. So this will concatenate and it will store the data in S1 again. So this is not mutation. Okay, we are not modifying S1. In this case, what will happen? S1 will be recreated from scratch. It will be redefined from scratch. Okay, in similar manner, you can store it in S3 variable also or some other variable also. Got this? Got everyone class till here? Any doubt? What happened in 44 block? Rohit, you understood 43? Like how keys are unique? Keys are unique because they're being that it is taking that the data from I, na? So I is going from 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is why your each and every key is unique in that. Same thing is happening in this case also. Both of the codes are doing the same thing. Okay, it is just a way of writing. This is called as, this here, the below one is called as dictionary comprehension. Just like I showed you that list comprehension. Comprehension. It will update according to range. Yes. Clear class so far? Everyone? Okay. So you can take a break now if you want to. Or let me cover a very small topic, then I will give break. Okay. 44 is a bit confusing, but we practice. However, try it once. If you face problem, then ask me in the next session. Yes, Devasis. List comprehension didn't got it? मतलब क्या? मतलब I didn't get your question. Didn't got it? You didn't get list comprehension. The concept. Okay, Devashish, do one thing. Like ask me at the end of the session if it's fine. Okay. I will have to cover the topic now, so that is one thing. Okay. So now class map we have already covered, right? Map all of you understood already. Okay, I hope so. Okay. So any kind of whenever you want to implement any kind of functionality, be it whatever, okay, on a particular sequence, you can use the map function. Okay. Now similarly, class, there is another function available called as filter function. Called as filter function. Okay. What happens in a filter function? Let me explain. Okay, map में क्या होता है? Map is this. Used to apply a particular functionality on a particular collection, right? Now what happens in case of filter function? He used to filter a particular sequence. Used to filter a particular collection sequence based on a particular functionality. Okay, so whenever this is the case, you can use filter function. Let me explain. Suppose class, let's say you have a list with you. Okay. Yeah, list, let us take this list only. Let's say class, you have this list with you. Okay. Now what you want to do, you want to filter out all the even elements. You want to filter out all the even elements and store them in a separate list. Okay. So what normally you will do, what? You will create an empty list. Okay. You will write here for I in range of what? For I in L directly, you will write. Okay. You will take the number one by one. Okay. And you will write a condition if, okay, if I modulus 2 equal to 0. If it is an even number, then you will append that in K. K dot append I. This is you want to do. So inside in the K, you will see only 88 and 80 will come. All of you got the problem statement right? All of you got the problem statement and the solution. Okay. Now, here class, what we are doing, we are filtering out the even elements. So now what we can do class in this case is, okay, we can create a your function for this. Okay, how? I will create a function even odd is equal to lambda. Okay, acha, one thing class. Let me show you one thing before that. Suppose let's say you have a number with you, which be whatever number you have, and you write if num modulus equal to 0, then print even. else print odd. All of you understood this code class? Yes or no? All of you understood this code class? Now, there is something class called as shorthand notation for if else. If else only you can use in shorthand notation, elif you cannot use. What you can do here, num to you already have, obviously that is not part of if else. Then you have written if num modulus 2 equal to 0. Now what you can do class, you can write here print even if num modulus 2 equal to 0, else print odd. Now let me explain how this code works. What happens in this case class? First the code will come here obviously. Okay. Then the code will come here at this particular place. Now, if this condition is true, then it will print even. If this condition is false, then it will print odd. All of you got this or not? Okay. So whenever there is a single line, see you are doing a single task only, no? If the condition is true, you are doing a single task. If the condition is false, then also you are doing a single task. So whenever you are doing a single task, that can be implemented using your shorthand notation. No indentation, nothing required here. Like I have mentioned, as it is, you will write. So now I will use this concept here, class. What I have to do, I will write a lambda. We will take an input, and I will write here return true. It will return true if I modulus 2 equal to 0. If it is a even number, then return true, else return false. I told you that there is no need to mention the return statement. It will automatically return. Okay. Now, this list we already have. I will directly apply the filter. So K is equal to list of filter. We have to apply the EO function on the L list. Just like in map function also we mention the function name, here also you have to mention the function name. Okay, so if you actually see class K, so 88 and 80. All of you are getting this or not class? Let me explain how filter works. For what? For which, see, what will filter do? It will apply that function. Just here in this case, EO function is there. So it will apply the EO function on each and every element of the sequence. Okay. Now for whichever element, filter will get a true value. It will include only them in the output. Let me show you the proof also. Suppose I change this to false and I change this to true. So now you can see it will include 91, 95, 95. So for whichever value it is getting a true in the output, it will include only that in the list. Clear class? All of you got this or not? Okay, but understand this one thing class. This kind of cases also occur. Sometimes you have to do this also. You will apply map function here. See the output. So you get true, false, false, true. All of you got this code or not? I just use the map function now. So I'm applying this map function, this function using map on each and every element. So it will either give true or false, right? So we need this also sometimes in real life scenario. Yeah, based on a sequence, we want this. All of you understood filter or not class? 100% clear? Filter map, both of them. Obviously you need a lot of practice. That is true for everything that I have covered so far. You feel that you need practice for this. Let me tell you the reason why most of you are feeling that you need practice for this. Okay, just because you have not practiced for loop, just because you have not practiced if else statements. Okay, once you master if else loop, if else statements and loop statements, this is literally a cakewalk for you. This is simple code. Right now, abhi ye this feels complex. Why? Because your brain is still trying to figure out how this for loop is working. For most of you, I know this. You are still figuring out how this for loop works. Okay, but that should not happen. Na? You should like, practice. Is there any exact difference between map and filter? It seems like similar. How devices, how they feel similar? Is the output for both of them same? They are similar to use in terms of the how they are their syntax basically. Okay, but in terms of the output, they both of them are different. Map function is basically used to apply a particular functionality on all the elements. Okay, so in case of map, if there are 100 elements in the list, then there will be 100 elements in the output as well. In case of map function, okay, but in case of filter, filter is basically used to filter out some elements from a given sequence on the basis of some criteria. Just suppose, let's say I have a list with me, okay, and in which I have written names of let's say, let me give you a question. Okay, it is totally up to you whether you want to use lambda or not. If you want to use filter or not, map or not, totally up to you. Okay, you have a list with you. Okay, some names are written. Amar, Devasis, okay, Zuzar, Amanya, Amit. Now what you need to do is write a program to create a list of all the names starting with A. This is a very normal question in data analysis. This is a very normal question in data analysis. In interview, they can ask you to work on this question. Because map and filter, both of this we use a lot in data analysis, because on data also now we need to apply a lot of functionalities at a lot of time. Let's say, suppose, let's say I have some data available with me. Let me give you some real life example. Suppose I have a list with me, okay, and in which now there are some data of dates written. कि date written कैसे है 23 है 23 dash 04 dash 2024. There is one date. There is another date. ठीक है 12 column, okay, 08 column 2023. ठीक है, कुछ डेट्स है मेरे पास. ठीक है, now you can get कि just because you need to process the data. Okay, so the interviewer can ask you, or this is actually required in the you will do this yourself also. You need this data in this format: 23 slash 04 slash 2024, comma 12 slash 08 slash 2023. Getting the code, class, everyone? Sorry, getting the question, getting the example, class, real life example. Okay, so you got the date in particular format, and you have to convert that date into a single format which can be used easily later on. Okay, so yeah, whatever replace or whatever you will use, it is totally up to you, but you have to work now. Okay, you have to map a particular functionality to each and every element. Okay, so this kind of cases you require. Okay, there can be one more thing. You will get a list of age of multiple people. Okay, age of, let's say there are 100 people, and of in the age range of 0 to 80. Okay, now what you need to do, you have to filter out all those people, okay, who are in the age range of 0 to 40. So in that case also you have to use a filter function. Getting this, class, or not? Okay, whatever, give me the output, class, give me the code for this. Abhishek, why you're sending the code to everyone? You could have sent the code to me only, no? Whenever I give some questions, class, give the share the code with me only. Try this, everyone, class. Don't look at the code in the chat. Do it without using the filter if you want to. Without using the filter, you can write the code. Use a for loop. Use a condition statement. You have to use indexing as well. And one more column can be there. The code can be written like this also. Small a also can be present. Small a, capital A, can any one of them can be there. Right, Imran. Devashish, it can be small a also, no? Zuzar, don't use the function. There is a reason I didn't cover this function, no? If you start using function for each and every small thing, then how will you learn? Logic development, you won't be able to learn logic development. That is for sure. If you start using functions for each and everything. Amit, I need a list in the output. I have written write a program to create a list. You are just printing. I guess that should work, Abhishek. That will work, I guess. Try to do the same thing using right now you cannot do it. Try to do it using filter once. Map one, sorry. Hmm. Okay. Correct something. Include small a also. It can be small a also, no? Correct, Devashish. Um, hmm. Zara, you're again using starts with function. No, don't use that. Working, okay, that is fine then. Nice. Yes, Devashish, that is actually better. Or you can use dot lower also with small a. Both are same. Correct, correct, Siddhika. Proof name. Okay. Correct, Shashank. One sentence you cannot write it like this. I guess so. I have to see once. Don't use starts with Zudar. I'm saying again and again you are testing it all. I'm saying don't use starts with method. Try not to use functions as much as possible. Okay, guys. So simply what you can do here is starts with A. Okay. So what you can do, you can create a function. Okay, is equal to lambda. You will take a name. Okay, and then you will write here. You have to apply a filter now. So true if नेम का जो जीरो है, डॉट लोअर अगर हम करते हैं उसको, तो दैट इज इक्वल टू स्मॉल एन। Okay. Else false. Okay. So then k is equal to list of filter. Okay. We will apply the func on L. Okay. Got this class, everyone? Clear so far?